Right. Hello. It's October 19th, Saturday, and we're going back to 2002. It's near the end of the summer. I'm closing, it's Friday night at the restaurant. So, just finishing closing, getting ready to go, and all of a sudden, God comes, pulls me out of my body, says, I need to talk to you. And I said, okay, what's up? Like, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, you're going to lose the restaurant. That's going to be gone. And I need you to go somewhere, and you got to do some work for me there. And you're going to go through a little bit of emotional problems and stuff like that. I said, really, God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go through emotional pain and suffering. And he goes, but I need you to do this. But you will like it eventually where you got to go, where I'm sending you. It's a little bit like hell, really, but your personality, and it's in your world, will work just really well, and you'll be able to deal with it and accomplish a lot of good things for me. And I said, like, God, I love my restaurant. I don't want to lose my restaurant. He's like, you got to do this. I'm sorry. And it's going to happen, and you got to get ready. So then I thought to myself, maybe I'm talking to the devil. I said, God, are you sure it's you? He said, no, it's me. It's me. And the angels also told me, be careful with the devil because he can deceive you. He can be something that you think you want it to be, like God-like, but it's not. So I said, God, I'll need 3 signs from you if it's really you, and I will do what you tell me to do. He goes, I'm going to light this little tea candle that I have for the restaurant for dinners. They last mostly 3 hours. At the most, 2 hours is their normal time for these little tea candles. So I said, I'm going to light it so I don't burn down the restaurant. I put it in the sink in the kitchen, and I lit it. I said, if this is still lit in the morning, that's one sign that I'm talking to you. And the other sign is you're going to have to show me the next sign. And I need 3 of them. One will be this light representing yourself. One will be who you are. And 2 will be something magical with wealth. So he said, okay, I'll do that. And he goes, don't worry. Where I send you, you will have a good time. You will like it. You will prosper. And I said, God, I don't know. I don't like death and violence. And like, I know I got a black belt, but I hardly ever have to use it. But anyway, so he sends me to this place. I'll tell you about that later. First of all, the next morning I come in, it's Saturday morning. We open for breakfast, but not really early on Saturdays. Usually around 8 or 9, 8 o'clock, set up for 9. So the tea light is still lit, like it's still on fire. It's like the little candle, it's on fire, like it's still lit. It's not burned out. In fact, it was still lit for the whole day of that day. But the amazing thing that happened is that like 12 o'clock on Saturday, I'm really usually very busy for lunch. I have 2 waitresses and a cook and myself. And so it comes to about 11:30, quarter to 12, nobody's coming in. And I'm like, what? That's really not normal. So I let one of the waitresses go, and I let the cook go, so I could cook the meals too. I'm a chef too. And a minute to 12, one person walks in, and I see the person come in, and he's dressed like a carpenter. He's got a carpenter belt. He's got the harness, all carpentry work. And he comes in, and he's got a goatee, he's got long hair. It looks a little bit like Jesus. I says, oh, what is this? So the waitress comes to me, she goes, I'm going to seat him. I said, okay. And I told the waitress, I said, I bet you his name is Chris. I bet you that he's born on the 25th of December, Christmas. I bet you he's 33 years old. I bet you he's a carpenter. And she goes, should I ask him? I said, no, there's really no need. But anyway, my waitress was curious, and she seated him. And she goes, is your name Chris? He goes, yeah, how did you know that? Then she asked him if he was born on Christmas. He said, yeah. And then she further asked him some more questions, and I told her what was it about. Because I also told her he would order the fish and the Greek Caesar salad and bread, toasted with butter. And he ordered all those things. She goes, you're really good. And I said, not only that, I gotta let you go. It's only one customer. I'll take care of him myself. And she goes, okay, it's been a slow morning, I understand. So I let her go. And I locked the door behind her, because he's going to be the only person I'm going to serve today. So I brought him his meal, and I sat down and I started talking to him. We talked for about an hour or two about life in general. He's Jewish, which I figured that too. He thinks when you tell him his name is Chris and he's born on the 25th of December that people make a big thing about it. But it's not really his religion. That's Roman Catholic or Christian or whatever you want to call people who believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And I asked him, I says, do you think Jesus Christ is the Son of God? He said to me what was a really, really beautiful answer. He said, listen, if he's not the Son of God, he should be. Because I've read the prophets of Jesus Christ, because his religion, Jesus Christ is a prophet. In our religion, Jesus Christ is the Son of God, which I believe is the Son of God. And that's the sign that God sent me, is this gentleman coming in. And I also knew that he had 2 kids and a wife, and a boy and a girl. And he named his first kid Joseph. His second was a girl named Mary. He goes, I know that's a little biblical, but that's not what my wife wanted. And he goes, how come you can't tell me my wife's name? I said, well, because you named your wife the same name as you named your daughter. She goes, that's what she wanted. I said, I understand that. That's normal. Sometimes you name the boy after the father. He goes, I didn't want that. That's what Jesus said. Well, Christ or Chris or the person that was in the restaurant. So as the meal goes on and everything, and we're talking, we talked about an honest man. Is there such a thing, and how do you find it? He said that question has been asked for thousands of years. He goes to me, when you know the answer to that question, you tell me. And if I can tell you what I think the answer to that man is, that's the best ability that I have. He said an honest man is a man that lives his life one day at a time to do the best that he possibly can, raises family, provides, understands, helps when he can, and does what he can to help others, if he can. If it doesn't interfere with his own situation of trying to raise his family, which he loves very much. And he cares about everybody else's family, and he works to do the best he can to help everybody in harmony and love everyone. I thought that was a really good answer. Anyway, we talked for a while. He enjoyed the conversation. He told me I was gifted. I told him he was gifted. And then he wanted to pay for the meal. And I says, no, I can't have you pay for this meal. He goes, well, I can't have you pay for this meal. Well, I said, there's one more little miracle God's going to perform. Because he does believe in God. And I believe in God. And he goes, well, what's that? I said, if you look behind you right at this moment, you'll see a $20 bill floating towards us. So he laughs. He goes, I'm going to turn around just to humor you. And I said, yeah, just turn around. Take a look. So he turns around, and there's this $20 bill floating towards us like this. And the meal is exactly $20. And it comes and floats right on top of our table. I said, God paid for your meal. He laughed at that too. He goes, it's the air conditioner, it's the wind, it's this, it's that. I says, I don't know. I'd have to have the best kind of super air conditioning to make that thing float all the way to our table in the middle of the restaurant. He goes, okay, that's impressive. However you did that, that is very impressive. I said, I'm not a magician. And he goes, what about a tip? I said, I'm the owner of the restaurant, you can't tip me. He goes, oh, well, I guess this is done? I said, yeah. He goes to me, he goes, I'll come in for lunch tomorrow, it's Sunday, I love talking to you. I says, no, you won't. You'll have something happen, you'll have something to do, you'll change your mind, you won't come in tomorrow. This is the last time I see you. And he goes, why? I said, well, the 3 signs that I got were this little light thing that's still on. I made him look at it in the sink in the kitchen. And he goes, how long has that light been on? I said, it's probably midnight last night. It's almost 1 o'clock now. It's only a 3-hour candle. Like, not even. They never last 3 hours, really. They're really cheap. And he goes, what else? I said, you coming into my restaurant. Your name is Chris. You're born on Christmas. You have a goatee. You have long hair. You're described exactly what Jesus looks like. And every question I asked you, you answered like a prophet or like Jesus would. And look at the way you named your children. And everything else about you. You're a carpenter. Jesus was a carpenter. He goes to me, he goes, the 3rd sign was the float of money? I go, yep, that was the 3rd sign, because I asked for wealth. Anyway, I ended up losing the restaurant. That's another story. Yeah. Christmas, sort of just after Christmas, New Year's, found out my partner wasn't paying his share of the bills. I was in debt after that, plus he didn't pay the rent for 2 months. And once you get behind 4 or 5 months in bills that you don't know about, and everybody's asking you for money and your creditors, I tried to sue my partner and the government. The judge said he doesn't have any money, he gives me $1 a year. My dad laughed at that check. Yeah, but that's the way it operates, and I knew that I was going to lose a restaurant. But I just had to do everything the right way of doing it. If someone takes advantage of you, you try to show them that it's not right to take advantage of people, and you try to punish them with a lawsuit. But that really didn't work. But that's a different story too. Yeah, lost the restaurant. And I'll tell you where I went on the next video. So I was supposed to do 40 videos. This is my 40th video. I was probably supposed to do this 3 years ago, so I'm behind in time. So I hope I don't get punished for it. I doubt if I will. That's what the angels told me. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you later. It's Birdy. Bye.